Hey everyone, welcome back to Celebrate Daily, where we give you the real story on global and political news. I'm your host, and today we're looking at a huge thing that's going on in both entertainment and politics. So, get this. Someone made a quick joke on a late-night show, and now the whole show is canceled for who knows how long. I'm talking about ABC stopping Jimmy Kimmel Live because Jimmy Kimmel talked about the awful killing of Charlie Kirk, who was a well-known right-wing person. This isn't just about a joke gone wrong. It is about how the media is being used as a weapon, how free speech is at risk, and how all the bad feelings from the Trump years are changing how we talk to each other in America. Stay with me as we look at what happened, why it happened, and what might happen next. If you haven't been here before, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We post new stuff every week so you can stay informed. Let's get started. So, to get what's going on with Jimmy Kimmel, we gotta rewind a few days to this awful thing that happened. Charlie Kirk got assassinated. He was only 31, a big conservative voice, and the guy who started Turning Point USA. Kirk wasn't just some talking head. He was a major figure in politics, a huge Trump fan who built this whole thing arguing against immigration, woke stuff, and what he called the radical left attacking America. His group got tons of young conservatives involved, turning college campuses into places where mega ideas were fought over. Then, one night in Utah, where Kirk lived, some 25-year-old named Tyler Robinson shot him. Now, Robinson's charged with murder. Apparently, Robinson waited for Kirk after a rally and shot him a bunch of times. Cops are saying it was a planned political hit. At first, everyone thought Robinson was just a lone nut, but then people started wondering if there was more to it. Kirk's death really shook up the right wing. People held memorials everywhere. Trump called it a terrible act against patriotism. And social media blew up with stuff like Justice for Charlie. But things get bigger than just the US. Kirk's killing shows how divided America is getting, where arguments turn into real violence. Remember the January 6th riot? The attempts on Trump? This makes those feelings even stronger, turning personal issues into big national problems. While the country either mourned or argued over Kirk's speeches about Islam and border security, the stage was set for late-night TV to chime in. That's where Jimmy Kimmel comes in. His show's always been a left-leaning response to conservatives. He had no idea his jokes would cause so much trouble, maybe even end his career. But before we talk about what Kimmel said, let's look at why Kirk's death was such a big deal everywhere. Turning Point USA isn't just an American thing. It's connected to conservative groups all over the world, affecting elections from Brazil to the UK. Kirk's murder makes you wonder if other people might copy it. Could extremists in other countries be encouraged by this? Think about it. We're in this time where info wars are mixed with real violence. Events like this aren't just news here. They're like moves in a big chess game. And Kimmel? He just got dragged into it without even knowing. So, it's Monday night, September 15th, 2025, and things are as crazy as usual at the Jimmy Kimmel Live studios. Kimmel, who's been making fun of politicians forever, steps up to do his monologue. The audience is expecting jokes, but half the country isn't going to find this funny. Kimmel talks directly about Kirk's murder and all the crazy rumors. He says, and this is a direct quote from the show, which is now everywhere, "The MAGA people are trying so hard to say this guy who killed Charlie Kirk isn't one of them, just trying to grab some political points from this." Yikes. Kimmel even suggests that the shooter, Tyler Robinson, might be a Trump fan, based on some early social media stuff. He makes fun of how the right wing quickly blamed Antifa or the deep state, calling it a desperate move to turn Kirk into a martyr before the elections. The crowd laughs a bit nervously, but online, people are freaking out. Why did Kimmel even go there? Well, context is important. Late-night TV isn't just light jokes anymore. It's full of political opinions. Kimmel really got into progressive stuff after 2020, which won him awards, but also got conservatives mad. This wasn't out of nowhere. Kirk had gone after Kimmel before, calling him a traitor. With the murder being so recent, everyone's emotions were high, and Kimmel's writers saw a chance to criticize what they thought was taking advantage of a tragedy. But timing is key. Just as the US and Europe are fighting over trade, the media is also split here. By Tuesday, Kimmel said more. A lot of MAGA folks are really trying to profit from Charlie Kirk's murder, mentioning how VP J.D. Vance made things worse on a podcast by calling people on the left dangerous. The reaction was quick. Clips went crazy on X, and "Try and cancel Kimmel" was trending fast. Some conservatives called it blood libel, saying Kimmel was stirring up hate. But was it just a bad joke, or was it meant to cause trouble? As we look closer, remember, in a really divided America, words are powerful, and Kimmel just made things way more intense. This all just shows how entertainment and politics are connected, like how Bollywood affects Indian elections or K-pop impacts votes in South Korea. It's a warning to the world. When does making fun of something become harmful? By Tuesday morning, the internet blew up. The anger at Jimmy Kimmel wasn't just online complaining. It felt like a planned attack showing how shaky the media is in America. X, what used to be Twitter, had over 500,000 posts in a day. A lot were from MAGA accounts with blue checks, all saying ABC should cancel the show. Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica, even posted a really sad video, saying Kimmel's talk hurt her husband's memory and put conservatives at risk. That really got people going, and they started calling for everyone to boycott. Then, Nexstar Media Group, which owns a bunch of ABC stations across the country, said they'd stop showing Jimmy Kimmel live right away, saying his jokes were wrong and heartless at a tense time for politics. Their president, Andrew Alford, was pretty blunt, saying it wasn't funny, but divisive when everyone needs to get along. Other stations, including Sinclair Broadcast Group, also skipped episodes. Why the quick change? Money talks. Shows like Kimmel's make money from ads, but if people get mad, sponsors pull out. It's kind of like how the news works in Russia or China, where they do what the government wants. These stations are worried about getting in trouble with the FCC under the guy Trump picked, Brendan Carr. Carr gave a heated interview to some right-wing YouTuber where he said Kimmel's behavior was super gross and that he might take away licenses for twisting the news. He could fine networks millions. People were split. Liberals called it cancel culture, and conservatives were celebrating. A poll said that morning showed most Republicans agreed with the decision, while most Democrats didn't. Even the VP, J.D. Vance, got involved and told people to report social media posts about Kirk that were mean to employers. It felt like the old days of McCarthyism. As Now or Fire Kimmel became a top trend, even the BBC covered it, asking if the U.S. was losing its free speech. This wasn't the only thing. People have lost jobs just for talking about Kirk's death. It affects our allies too. How will this impact NATO if news stations start censoring themselves? Kimmel's team tried to fix things, but the damage was already done. It's not just about one joke. It shows how global tensions, like what's happening in Ukraine and trade with China, can cause problems here at home. Did you hear about ABC? They just put Jimmy Kimmel Live on hold like right now. They're saying it's because of recent stuff and wanting to be cool about what's happening around the country. But people are saying they might not keep Kimmel around when his contract ends in 2026. Disney's in a tough spot. They're all about being family-friendly, but this is messy. Their CEO, Bob Iger, is already dealing with people complaining about woke stuff, and this just makes things worse. Apparently, the local channels were not happy, and without them, the show's nothing. Kimmel hasn't said anything yet, but people are saying he's mad and thinks ABC is giving in to the haters. This is a big deal for late-night TV. Colbert's show ended earlier this year too. Disney's so big around the world that this is even more complicated. Think about Mickey Mouse getting stuck between the US and China, or Star Wars getting boycotted. Some people are scared that this shows how much power a few companies have over the news. The chairman even said that if channels air this poison, they'll get fined. It's like how Putin shuts down people who criticize RT Democrats are not happy. Senator Ed Markey called it censorship and said it's bad for free speech. Big names like George Clooney are backing Kimmel, while Jon Stewart thinks it's the end of jokes. Kimmel's show wasn't getting great ratings, but now it's getting no ratings at all. People are losing their jobs too. Al Jazeera says this shows that the US is a hypocrite when it comes to free press. Disney's got to be careful here. It shows how companies like to play it safe and shut down people who speak out. This isn't just about a show stopping. It's a message that in Trump's America, jokes can get you in trouble. Trump's gloating. The MAGA crowd goes wild. No one cheered ABC's choice more than Donald J. Trump, who used the Kimmel thing to fire up his fans. On Truth Social, his usual spot for unfiltered thoughts, Trump posted, "ABC finally got some guts and dumped the low-rated Jimmy Kimmel Live. What a total loser. Fake news at its worst." He didn't stop there, telling NBC to get rid of Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers too, making fun of their bad numbers. Trump's so happy because Kimmel made fun of him a lot from 2016 to 2020 with jokes about the wall and COVID stuff. Now, with Kirk's death to back him up, Trump says it's payback against Hollywood haters. It's not just personal, it's smart politics. Trump's post got 10 million views fast, helping the midterm push by making the media look like the bad guys. Anthony Scaramucci, who Trump fired in 2017, tweeted, "Jimmy Kimmel and I, both canned by Trump." It's a funny take on what they share, but it shows Trump still has a hold. Even people he kicked out talk about him. Kirk being killed fits Trump's story. They're killing our people, but we're fighting back. Around the world, this gets populists going. Bolsonaro in Brazil shared it, talking about his own media problems. Trump's $15 billion lawsuit against the New York Times, filed a few days ago over supposed Dem bias, fits in. He's going after fake news. People like Rachel Maddow say it's like a dictator move, but fans think he's being proven right. As Truth Social gets bigger, it's competing with X among conservatives, pushing isolated opinions on Ukraine or Taiwan. Kimmel's show ending? Trump's using it. Next, the late-night clowns on the left. This victory lap isn't just being happy someone else failed. It's showing how to control the story, with personal beefs driving what happens. In a world of info wars, Trump's taunt shows us. Winners tell the story, and losers like Kimmel get canceled. Voices from the trenches, Scaramucci, Vance, and the conservative chorus. With Trump cheering them on, a group of conservative voices really went after Kimmel, almost like they were getting even. Anthony Scaramucci even tweeted about it. The Mooch used the chance to talk about how Trump always gets rid of people who don't agree with him, saying it's just MAGA's long memory. VP J.D. Vance, who was on Kirk's podcast that week, got angry and told people to report anti-Kirk posts to HR. He called it accountability time. Vance's idea is a bit like the Red Scares from the 1950s, but in today's world, it is powerful. Some TikTokers and influencers lost gigs fast. Brendan Carr from the FCC, who was picked by Trump, said he might take away ABC's licenses, saying Kimmel was lying to make Republicans look bad. Carr said he would look into distorted broadcasts, which could cost Disney a lot. On the other side, liberals got together. Markey said Carr was going too far, and AOC tweeted that Trump's FCC was trying to shut people up. She told people to fight back. Media groups had different reactions. Fox News was happy, while CNN was concerned. Kirk's Turning Point USA said they would create a media accountability fund to go after more shows. People in other countries noticed too. The Guardian looked at what Kimmel said and wrote about how U.S. division is spreading bad feelings around the world and how it's helping far-right groups in Europe. It's funny because Scaramucci used to work for Trump and even he sees what's happening. Vance's call to report people caused a lot of problems, like doxing. All of this seems planned, kind of like how Saudi Arabia puts pressure on news outlets about Khashoggi. With all these different voices, it makes you wonder what's happening to America. Is this democracy or something else? Kimmel hasn't said anything, and his show on Wednesday, where he was going to defend himself, didn't even happen. The free speech problem. What's too far? The Kimmel-Kirk thing really brings up tough questions about free speech in America. How edgy can jokes get before it's too much? Some say Kimmel's just doing satire, and the First Amendment lets him say offensive stuff, like the Supreme Court said in that Hustler case. Others think jokes can be dangerous, especially after something awful happens. It's like what's happening around the world. The UK wants to fine people for harmful stuff online, and India can throw journalists in jail for what they write. Here, some professors got suspended for criticizing Kirk, and some doctors lost their jobs for tweets. Even Kimmel knew he was in trouble. The Hollywood Reporter said he had a non-apology ready. His joke was based on stuff that wasn't true. But he still got suspended, which some White House people are calling consequence culture. It's scary if U.S. media starts censoring itself. How can we call out Russian lies about Ukraine? A lot of people are worried that free speech is dying. Someone even threatened to take away licenses for bias, which is something that hasn't happened in a long time. Some politicians want to stop this, but who knows what will happen? One news agency even said we were being hypocritical, telling other countries to have free press while silencing people here. This is also happening to others, which is making people worry about the end of late-night TV. Social media makes things worse by blowing up jokes into huge problems. So, who's next? Everyone needs to get a hold of what they're saying. Our right to speak freely is super important, and it's in trouble because of all this political stuff. Late-night TV nearing its end? Ratings, competition, and the doom of fun, Jimmy Kimmel Live, was a big deal. but now it's in trouble. ABC stopped the show, joining CBS, which canned Colbert's Late Show because of problems at Paramount. The numbers say it all. Before all of this, Kimmel had about 1.8 million viewers, which is less than what he had in 2020. People are ditching cable and watching TikTok instead. Stopping the show means no one will care. Why watch old episodes when there's drama happening live? Other hosts like Fallon are trying to be careful and not talk about certain topics, while Myers is being extra sarcastic. This isn't simply shows losing popularity, it's being caused by politics. Trump wants more shows axed because of their low ratings and because he does not like them. Worldwide, late-night TV's decline hurts America's influence. American comedy used to spread ideas about democracy, like The Daily Show, inspiring comedians everywhere. Now, shows have become silent because companies like Disney are scared. This is bad for the people who work on these shows. Writers and crew members, about 150 people, are worried about their jobs. Kimmel, who's worth a lot of money, might start doing podcasts, but his reputation is damaged. Other nations are going through similar things. Streaming is becoming more popular, which is bad news for normal TV. Trump is happy about this because he thinks fun can be a battleground. What happened to Kimmel could either lead to something new or to the end of old-fashioned TV. What do you think? Is late-night TV dead, or is it just transforming? How U.S. problems affect the world. What happened with Kimmel isn't just an American thing. It shows how our problems at home can spread to other countries. Kirk's Turning Point group had fans around the world, like Hungary's Orban and Argentina's Milei. His death might make young people everywhere even more extreme. Trump's fight with the media? It encourages leaders who don't like free speech. Xi in China censors movies, and Putin in Russia puts people in jail for criticizing him, saying the U.S. is being unfair. When we lose free speech here, our friends abroad get worried. Countries in NATO start to wonder if America is stable when things like this happen. Disney also took a hit. After the announcement, their stock dropped a bit, which affected their theme parks all over the place. After the 2024 election, Trump's FCC might go after what they see as left-leaning news, kind of like how the EU regulates media, but in a more aggressive way. Vance pushing for reports? Amnesty says it makes cyberbullying worse, similar to how Iran's morality police act online. News sources like The Guardian are warning that American illiberalism is spreading. Far-right groups in France are using it to justify their own attempts at censorship. The idea of Kirk as a martyr is making people want to stay out of world affairs, which hurts efforts to help Ukraine. And Kimmel not being on TV anymore? It's bad for having reasonable discussions, since he made politics feel more personal. China is happy to see the U.S. in chaos. This reminds us that if we're not strong at home, we can't be strong in the world. What does this mean? Stricter media rules and more people only hearing what they already agree with, a world where it's hard to know what's real. Okay, so the Jimmy Kimmel thing is calming down. What did we learn? What's next, and what can we do? First off, jokes aren't harmless anymore. Words can really hurt these days. Also, big media companies are easily pushed around, which is bad news for free speech everywhere. What's going to happen? Kimmel will probably do okay on Spotify, but ABC will play it safe and get someone boring for his old job. Maybe a game show. Trump will say he won and look even better to his fans. And expect the FCC to come down harder on stuff, which could mess with the 2026 elections. This also makes the US look bad, which helps countries like Russia spread fake news. As for Kirk, he'll be remembered as a hero by the right. What should we do? Think for ourselves and support real news. What do you think? Was this too much, or was it fair? Leave a comment. If you liked this explanation, hit like and subscribe to Celebrate Daily for updates on news and stuff both home and abroad. Thanks for watching. Keep up to date and be careful out there. See you later.